So we're going to go to a quick break. Boy, oh boy. Is Thrive going to continue that dominance, or will we see CHAWK start hot in XGS? Find out once we return. Alrighty, we are back and we are underway. We've got ours, we've got 10 in the lobby, and we are underway with our bands. Thrive, just like they did yesterday, starting on the attack. CHAWK on the defense. Coming through here, and this might be, we were kind of just talking a little bit there, Goose, during the break. What's the mentality behind allowing Cafe coming through? Do they have some insane counter-stratting type thing and have a nasty game plan? That they were like, we have to get Cafe type thing? Or is it like a weak map pool? And really, this is one of the few options that they have to go to. I mean, we're going to figure out here is if they come out and just start playing through the things. But so far, a default ban coming in for CHAWK, going on the Monty. Zombie going to come in through Thrive. But, I mean, Thrive have everything to lose. They have the reputation. They have the result. It's all to play for these guys. And CHAWK, no expectations really being put on them.
I do think this is just one of the maps where it's like you got to choose the better of the worst. And if they're going to go on to a map that they're confident on, ignoring the previous results of their opponents when they played this map, I think if you're going to want to go to a cafe versus the other bands, perhaps, maybe they felt better on a clubhouse. We don't know. And if it's simply just choosing the better of both worlds, I like that idea, but I don't think that is. And I think even at that point, having a small map pool in itself is bad. And at the end of the day, it simply just falls down, especially if we come back and look at this as being a very definitive win of either two problems. Either you just made a horrible mistake at the ban phase, or you have a small map pool. But I've said throughout all day, especially in our last matchup with 774 and Wildcard Aces, in a best of one, there's always a chance for an upset, and it's just a matter of time when.
In the blue is CHAWK. In the orange is Thrive. What can CHAWK do? Can they cause some upsets? Can they upset the established order? Damo's coming out from Skunk. He might just go straight to business and get the tracking. You've got the Pulse. You've got an Echo. It might be a little bit of a roam type style here, kind of working off that information and causing some ruckus. And there's 3 C4s to do so as well. We could see some plays coming in that regard. Here we go. Cafe, best of one. XGS. It is game 4 of the night. The beginning of our doubleheader. CHAWK. They begin, and it's Thrive, who's trying to break in towards. It's all about really getting kind of vertical play here. There's not too many players actually for CHAWK that are upstairs, Goose.
Yeah, I actually really love this lineup from CHAWK, bringing the mirror to just cut off those lines of sights. But not only that, but you have the pulse to potentially play spoilers down below, and on top of that, just simply give a lot of info to the team. But also, you have the Echo. They have everything. They understand that bringing themselves to this bomb site, they need to focus on making sure they deny the plant. The first one goes on to aim key, but Moses is there to eventually retrade. And if you look at the overall players, they have pretty much complete control aside from Gekyu, who surely should be pushed down below shortly.
4v4 now. Minute 40 on the clock, and immediately Moses is calling for a tech pause, so that makes you think something's going on this ride. And nonetheless, drones are starting to come out. Barriers are starting to be broken down. And it's very slow now for Thrive. They've trying to figure out what's the best approach here, but here comes the Thatcher. Gonna get a hold of the hash. 2 ace charge just for good measure. As well as another Thatcher EMP. Look at HUD on the Echo drone. He's gonna be able to figure out what's going on. They've got so many options for line of sight. They've got Pulse, they've got Echo, they've got Mirror. So much intel gathering at the hands of CHAWK. But still, a minute 4 left. Thrive slowly making their way towards. You got some pressure from Red Stair. They're kind of surrounding the site. Gekyu finds another for his side. Twist is going to drop. That's going to give advantage right on back towards CHAWK. Thrive, it's a little slow right now. They still do have the diffuser, and there's another one that's going to fall, and that's surely going to be a CHAWK victory, but the diffuser is going down. Moses getting the plant. 4v1. 3v1 now. Moses had to hop off, get the kill, but the trade comes through. Good round from CHAWK. Are we going to be seeing that pause that Moses was kind of talking about here? Are we going to see some more technical issues that start to play in the factor of the team that is favored in this game? I mean, that's kind of what happened in the last round, 7-7-4. Yes, they played well, but Wildcard Aces did have those internet issues. Is that going to be something for CHAWK? But hey, guess what? That 100% record is gone, so good start from CHAWK.
Yeah, I really love what they did that round. Just not only were they giving Thrive so much to work with, understanding going to that mining bomb site, realizing that a lot of teams, especially Thrive, most likely were going to choose the avenue to simply try to get that plant down over in mining, because it's simply just a lot easier to do. You don't have to take a lot of map control. You can get the control of piano, try to get a bomb down. But not only did they give themselves ways to give problems to Thrive, but they also gave themselves so many opportunities, different choices of what to do. They had a pulse below with a C4, they had the mirror cutting off lines of sight, and also had an echo. So if one choice fell or faltered, they would have another player. They would have another decision, another idea to fall back on, whether that be the mirror be taken out, going to the pulse. If the pulse wasted his C4, you would also have an echo. Not only just simply so much for Thrive to necessarily deal with, but also so much with CHAWK to really work with.
It was a little slow from Thrive there, and they were gonna get split up. They were worried about loads of different factors, but it didn't look like the Thrive from yesterday. It was this looked like a team that was starting to hesitate, and I don't know if there's existential factors that are playing into those decisions that are happening. But good start from CHAWK as they get into this one. And you like the setup. I would agree as well. But what can they show as they start to switch sites? Are they going to show different looks? And we talked about it. Maybe this is a team that really knows how to play this map, and they have some out of the mind strategies or know how to counter strat against this team because they maybe saw them yesterday. So they might have a plan, and we can sit here and say like, oh, you're crazy for trying to play Thrive on this map after yesterday. But so far, it's a good start. But it's only one round.
I agree. It is only one round, and it also is the opening round. A lot of times, teams, not only in the opening round, but just opening phases of attacks, will have growing pains. Just simply not only figuring out how they want to approach their attack, but also figuring out their opponent's defense. And, after a couple of rounds, I'd say around the third to fourth, if we don't start to see consistent success for Thrive, then so you're going to start to worry. Obviously, you can fall back on to the defense, but at the end of the day, this is a map that falls out of the meta, and that can really flop either way.
I mean, CHAWK, they also have another game to play after this one. So if you lose this, or if you get embarrassed, or if you win, you got to think, what's the mentality going to be? Are you able to reset? Are you able to take momentum going to this game? And this is not only going to be a test against a good team in Thrive, it's also going to be a test of a marathon type style, your mentality, and how you're able to handle these kind of back-to-back games, and a lot of early pressure in the XGS season.
Yeah, I think this is just, not only a very important game to start off all of the XGS, but if not only can you potentially upset a team like Thrive, but if you not only can get rounds you're going to lose against a team like Thrive, you're going to be able to take a lot more away from it. Because if you have success, you're going to understand that, okay, this success not only works against Thrive, but it can also work against other higher echelon teams that we may face in our future. And I think that's a really important task for CHAWK, is that no matter what the scoreline looks like, no matter if they're having success or failure, they need to constantly try new things. And not exactly approach this game as a scrim, but approach it as a playground. Try different strats, try to put players in different positions. Don't try to fall into those same molds over and over again, and continue to give your opponents something new to deal with every chance you can give.
And as we take a look at Group B, obviously we just saw 774 get a victory and kind of throw this Group B, I think, into a little bit of a chaos type status, because Thrive 1-0, Wildcard now 1-1. It looks very difficult to try and kind of predict what might happen here. Aerial Arise coming out that loss. They're going to be playing CHAWK in the next one. Is we're loading back into this one, but 774 has this win now, and it makes life a little bit more difficult for CHAWK if they want to try and get into this last chance qualifier. They kind of need those teams around their quality to start losing to really have a chance. So it makes that game when they play 774 that much more important.
And it's something that really interesting I've noticed. If you look at the overall operator lineup of CHAWK, bringing the Goyo, the Maestro paired with the Mute, it doesn't look like they're going necessarily for a very strong vertical extended hold upstairs, mostly trying to put a majority of their cards, this defense, onto that defender utility, trying to not only deny space from Thrive, but also when they do potentially get into the bomb site, you're going to have those Goyo canisters. You're going to have the Maestro camps to potentially either give problems or stop it entirely. And if you look at the overall lineup of Thrive, not a whole lot of vertical players that can really use that utility. So it looks like Thrive are also going to be playing this exact same playstyle that CHAWK have set up for them.
Alrighty, CHAWK got the round, and we're back in after that tech pause. And Thrive get back to winning ways like we saw yesterday, or is it going to continue to be CHAWK in the driving seat? Basement start here. And those Maestro cams can be also deadly with the evil eye. So far from Thrive, though, they're really yet to take any presence in the building. Is there going to be any type of vertical play that comes through? This Twitch could be a big factor in getting those nuke jammers, getting any of those oil canisters done. But hold on a second. Geku's on the floor. He did get a kill before falling, however. Zer's also going to drop. So temporarily, Thrive is actually up on numbers. But as I say that, Schmink is going to come through, pick up the res, and get a kill. So a big play there from Schmink gives the advantage right on back towards the defense. CHAWK still staying alive here, but Geku is going to fall. Schmink now, he's starting to get on a little bit of a tear onto a double in this one. Two players remain for Thrive. That's Skunky and Moses. Let them try and make a clutch. Make that now just Moses. HUD going to get a kill and also cost him his life. User now in the hands of Moses. Minute 20, so plenty of time for Moses to try and cook something up. Does he know where Schmink is? He knows he's somewhere over here. But he's right there. Schmink, massive round for CHAWK. And now it's 2-0. And ooh, what was that tech pause about? Was that hurting Thrive? Because this is looking great for CHAWK so far.
I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I am very surprised at one simple fact that CHAWK, it looks like they may have done their homework. Both of these rounds, they have entire defensive setups that Thrive play into. Round after round, Thrive play into exactly how CHAWK has set up their defense. For the first round, they didn't go below. They didn't really focus on getting control of white and then trying to attack both sides, only going towards mining, and that time around, CHAWK playing solely just for a horizontal sight hold, not really having much focus on holding that vertical above. And Thrive, again, also not having focus on that vertical. So going into these next couple of rounds, Thrive really need to start to counter CHAWK. They're playing to exactly what CHAWK is setting up, and that's why they're losing these rounds, because CHAWK, they're expecting, they are playing and trying to counter exactly what Thrive is doing, and so far it has worked absolutely wonders.
And now this is what I wanted to see Thrive in a situation like this. How are they going to adjust? They no longer have Penguin, their leadership there. What is mentality going to be looking like when their backs are kind of up against a wall and they have to think for themselves and get creative and deal with that adversity? It's interesting because Moses is on the support role on the hard breach with the diffuser. I'm wondering if that is a little bit of the fallout with Penguin leaving. So, I mean, we're seeing a whole new look Thrive, and yeah, they looked good yesterday, but they could still very well be trying to figure things out for themselves.
And I think it's exactly what Thrive, again, I talked about those growing pains the first couple of rounds for an attack. And that's not what we really not only did expect, but should expect. They had such a dominant fashion, and we'd known Thrive just being not necessarily a very adaptive team. They're a team, if they see an opening, they're going to continue to bash their head on it. But we've seen a team that can change up their microplays round to round and adapt in that sense, and we're just simply not necessarily seeing that. Thrive really putting emphasis on working these windows, trying to get these crosses, potentially trying to push out, catch a couple of these players on the rotates off guard. But for right now, not a lot of it's going to work in Amkey. Finally having success on the entry, but it's going to be safe to eventually shut him down.
Gekyu is going to get two as well. He's already up to 5 kills. In Thrive, they find that entry, and then it just immediately gets Thanos snapped away from them. Now they're down in the hole. It's a 4v2 in favor of the defense. CHAWK. Looks like they're going to be having a great start to life, taking 3 rounds immediately, but there's still some time left. But the diffuser is aware. You can see it pinged by Gekyu. No longer pinged, but he knows exactly where it is. CHAWK has the information. Twist does find a pick onto Safe Burger. Safe hold is going to drop. Skunky and Twist are kind of playing slow right now. There's a minute on the clock. They're going to grab this diffuser. Totally the position's known. Those bullets are flying. They know where the diffuser is. CHAWK just kind of have to corral them over towards this side of the map, and they've pretty much done their job. Twist got the diffuser. Some quick feet there, Julio Jones style. Able to grab it. And now they're starting to make their way over towards this Mira. But the crossfire from Gekyu. Great snap from Twist, actually, to even get that kill, because that was a nasty angle. But there's still more angles to worry about. Well, that castle barricade actually might be a little bit of a savior for Twist. Oh, but a C4 throw! Oh, it had a little bit of a delayed explosion, but Twist dodges it. 24 HP. Don't reload, dude. He's right there. He wasn't aware of where HUD was. Unlucky there from Twist. Almost made the clutch play. But, wow, CHAWK now is on a 100% record. Who knew?
I really hope this is not going to be another 7-0. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely
it's XGS.
insane.
That's XGS.
There we go. A
Thrive
timeout. That's
Thrive's
exactly
taking a
what
timeout.
you
That's a
need.
good timeout.
And, I talked about that, CHAWK, they needed a good game plan, especially going on to the defense, and that's exactly what we've seen here. But one of the bigger problems for Thrive that I talked about in the pre-show is the inconsistency of Amkey. Amkey, all 3 rounds, not only was he put on the Ash, but he was put on the Ash in entry positions. He was always the first person in the door, trying to shut down those entry picks and get the favor to the side of Thrive. But because he's being shut down, if you look at the scoreboard and if you've seen the past couple of rounds, no other players really shown up in his place. And this is a problem we've seen with Thrive. When Amkey doesn't show up, there's not really a replacement, and they really suffer from it.
Yeah, and now with what it looks like a kind of role switch here between Twist and Moses and the departure of Penguin, is that also going to be playing a factor for somebody like Moses? Does he have like a difficulty trying to find his way into this team? And yeah, when Amkey is not having his night, it kind of maybe compounds on to top of it. Yeah, Moses is still on the breach, so I don't know. Is that something that Thrive has to look at? I don't know how locked in Twist is into his position. I don't know if this is a signing or if this is like a tryout. type phase for XGS, but that is something you're gonna have to start to continue in, man. I mean, this is polar opposite. And is it even been 24 hours? Maybe a little bit over 24 hours, maybe a little under, but I mean, what happened overnight for Thrive?
I mean, it really is the question. And I think the bigger question is, was Carr just really that bad? Like, I mean, if we're looking back at it, like, not only is CHAWK putting up an excellent defense, some of these rounds it's been near perfect on paper. It really just goes to beg the question of just really what happened. And Thrive, they need to start thriving pretty soon. They need to start to find a formula that works. There's something to get them opening because even in the opening rounds, they have absolutely nothing.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Zura, he's looking to get aggressive here. But there's a punch on that barricade. They know something's going on. There might even be a drone on that as well. Aimkey tried to cause spoiler. Ooh, that's what you need if you Thrive. Now, get the kill and play your life. Can you escape from that one? So they shut down the roamer. So that's a good start to life for Thrive. And usually when that happens, there's a trade that's happened immediately for CHAWK, but not this time around. So Thrive's going to be able to walk away from that kill.
And that's exactly what they needed. Not only an opening pick, but to shut down those aggressive players that put themselves in the open, that go out of their way to try to shut down these aggressive players. And also, Aimkey doesn't die first again. A really good opening round, not only for Thrive, but so far also for Aimkey. The longer you can keep Aimkey to put him in these aggressive situations in the mid to late round, it's just the much better for Thrive. And so far, after that singular pick, keep in mind, it was completely isolated. That was just that one player being aggressive, no one near him. They haven't really gotten a whole lot much off of it. And on top of that, you still have to clear this entire top floor. The bomb site is on the middle.
Q has been super active throughout, so I'd imagine that he's not going to go down without a fight. Thrive, yeah, I mean, they're playing kind of slow. Like you said, that you got to get to the middle there. They've got a little bit of vertical play, I guess you could say. Candle is trying to make some progress, but he is worried about that press coming to the back. Oh, and he spotted that player over towards the top of the stairs. One shot out, but Candle now. Ooh, that's a creative angle, opening up the wall, getting a tight look at what's up stairs, but that's a great challenge from Safehold. And it's a double from Candle after Safehold also gets one as well. Now it's Thrive still in control, but it is a little sketchy. Skunky pulling that window. Almost had an angle into a player. Look at all this vertical control that's starting to come through for Thrive. And now it's HUD and Schmink. They have to batten down the hatches. 40 seconds for Thrive. They're trying to find just somebody from up above before they try to work down through. HUD holding that opening on the ceiling there. Schmink playing over towards fireplace. Trying to watch that stairs all of his life, because really there's not a load of opportunities for Thrive to try and attack from. They're just trying to get the kills and then find something, but no avail. It hasn't been really going their way. They've got no more skeleton key. They've got no more breaching charge, so they're going to be forced to go down to their level. 15 seconds now on the clock. What's going to be the play? Skunky finds a kill. It's now down to HUD. Where is HUD? Are you playing a different map? He left the site. The diffuser's going to go down. HUD, is this a 2000 IQ play, or is this one of the most questionable? Goose, I got to get your opinion on that one, but that was still a good round from Thrive. That was a massive backback. Oh, he barely just saw his head. That was a huge bounce back from Thrive. They started off well. Questionable choice there from HUD, but still, you can't take anything away from Thrive. That was a good round.
100% a great round. HUD trying to go for that retake. Only his real option being completely smushed into that dining bomb site. But it's going to be Thrive to find their very first round. They're going to need a lot more than that. At least two more. Or actually, sorry, at most two more, but at least one. And going into a 4-2 half on to the defense is, not necessarily the worst. And sure, we didn't even see them play defense yesterday because they went completely flawless on their attack. But nonetheless, all they needed was that one round win. It's essentially like, when an NBA player sees the ball go through the hoop, you just need to see success to give yourself that confidence. A lot of times, teams, especially early on in matches, will just fall down in that round count simply because they don't have confidence. Especially players like Aimkey, if they can just find that rhythm, find their stride, and continue to have that confidence behind them, especially being an aggressive entry player, it does all the better.
Yeah, for Thrive, That was, I think the vertical play was the big thing in that round. They didn't get any kills from it, but it's kind of a process of elimination, I guess you could say. Because, well, he's not there, he's not there, he's not there. So that very limited amount of spots that he could really be, and they found the gap, pushed in. Yeah, they forced him to make that rotation, HUD. But still in the defense, here we do the 6-6 rules around XGS, so we'll have a switch at halftime. Schmink, he was such a factor over towards Bar last time, and a lot of kills. Can he do so again? Still approaching the 2-minute mark. Thrive just doing their due diligence. They've been a lot slower in the majority of these rounds, Goose.
Yeah, they have really been slower, and that's exactly necessarily how Thrive have played. They're a team that do everything in their power in the early round to simply just find a gap. They're really, I won't necessarily say only rely on finding gaps, finding the places where the defense is lacking to attack, but they do have problems when they're not able to find it. But when they're able to find an avenue into the site, they simply just focus on it. They put all their focus onto one little spot, and a lot of the time it does have success for them. This time around, their focus is going to be on Bakery clearing out Zur and Safe, trying to simply just get control, but now being backed up by HUD. This is going to be such a difficult position. HUD, though, is essentially trapped here.
He's got a dock that's stimming him. He might be able to survive if there's enough health. They're trying to get bullets, but I think that one shot that they were able to put into his shoulder might have been the difference maker. Unable to stand and walk the fire trial is HUD. Great positioning there from Thrive as they're able to kind of zone him out, but Thrive only really has one drone. They haven't had a lot of drones this whole time. So outside of that, what information are they going to be able to gather? It's Moses who has the power of that drone, the support player. Thrive off of that pick. It's been slowing down since then. Safehold has a big position to hold and does so. Candle drops, ties this one back up. 40 seconds left. Thrive now knows where that player is, and Twist is going to get back. Zers, the kills are going to go back and forth. There's a double for Twist. It's a 3v2 in favor of the offense. Is it going to be a case of let's just sit in sight and let them come to us? Schmink and Safehold are big up. Oh, and Schmink was so crucial on this first floor site last time. But Twist shuts him down. A triple kill. Plant going down. And it looks like Thrive is going to walk away with this one. Do they know where Safe is? Diffuser down. A lot of work to do for the Warden. And goggles aren't going to really cut it in this situation. 35 seconds left in this round. Safehold trying to get some pressure, but really, I don't think there's a way really back into this, Goose.
Not a lot of options whatsoever.
Yeah, there's Twist.
And eventually, Twist, who went big in this round, ending it with a 4K and puts his team ever so closer to tying it up 3-3 Thrive on what is going to be their last attacking round for this first half. And finally, found this right. I talked about, whether or not a player like Aimkey is going to show up, it doesn't matter. If he's not going to show up, if he's not going to be in those positions, you need players like Twist to make up for it, to find the strike, to find the gaps, and get those entry picks. Because, at the end of the day, it's an FPS game. If you can't kill the other team, you're going to lose. And this is a problem that Thrive has had time and time again, is simply the kill department. But once we have players, Aimkey, you're not doing a whole too bad. 3-3, getting 2 kills the round previously. But having players like Twisted, or who can really make up, who can really shine and be that star player to get their team not only into the map, but back into the game, is exactly what they need.
And maybe that was the mentality behind picking up somebody like Twist. You had AMP who, yeah, he can pop off, but he can also go cold. And then you've got Penguin who doesn't get a lot of kills. So let's bring in not a support player. Let's bring in somebody who can get kills. Twist leading the lobby. Well, he's tied with Gekyu in after that massive quad round in the last one with 6 kills. So he's showing off, and it forces Moses over towards that support role. Is that maybe the switch that Thrive needed? They obviously do have a little bit of... They like to think smarter than the opponent and play slow, find the gaps. We saw with the Capitao play on that last round. If you can add slang and pop off potential to this team, Thrive could be a nasty team in XGS.
Yeah, they are, for now at least, especially after their success, just a top gunner. But Zur, he's continuing to put this hammer deeper into the body of Thrive, and it just
Ooh.
continues. But eventually, AMK and Twist find some success and even it out to a 3v3.
And we said, like, oh, they play slow. They like to think about things. Well, that one, they look like they just try and go all guns a-blazing in towards the bottom site. But Skunky on the blitz gets shut down. So does the Ayana. Tied up here, and now it's going slow. 2 minutes mark, and we've already seen 4 deaths. Looks like we're going to see a bakery push coming in from Thrive. Kind of slowly working this one up. And this time around, they have a lot more drones, so they can hop on a drone and start doing their homework and finding out where these players are. But safe hold, he was playing a little bit of spoiler, but not enough in that last round. Still up in this one. Schmink, really outside of that one round on basement site. He hasn't made his impression too much on this. No more C4 for HUD as well. Minute 30, and now Thrive is starting to slow this down. But Schmink gets a kill and gives the defense the advantage.
Now, this is exactly what they needed. Thrive, they don't have an opening. They're going to have to force the issue. They're going to have to find an opening, open it up, and here's AK!
Wait, what?
What the triple?
What? You just mentioned it. They don't really have an opening, but nobody watches the flipping door. I mean, AMK just walked in for free. The price of admission was bullets, and he paid that and then some. Thrive, CHAWK went up 3-0. Thrive went up back with 3. Is this the Thrive that we saw yesterday? CHAWK it, I guess. Just, I don't know. What are we calling here? This is XGS in its finest. Anki, 1, 2, 3. Whew. 3-piece chicken nugget. He's going to be wanting more as we enter halftime. Yeah, Goose. Yeah, I would ask you what you're thinking, but probably just sheer tomfoolery.
That's exactly what AMK needed. Especially
Yeah.
as a player myself, when I have problems, when I'm able to find a huge gap like that, that tells me to my mind that this is going to be a continuous pattern. Now, obviously, they're switching to the defense, so it's going to be a little bit different. But again, I talked about the ball going through the hoop. Keep in mind, before that round, AMK, 3-3, a 4K back-to-back on the exact same site that Twist did. Not only does that tell you that both AMK and Twist are very individual, powerful players, but it also tells you that was a consistent gap problem with CHAWK on that site. And what Thrive did, what they were able to find, was a consistent answer.
If you got a 1-2 combo of Twist and an informed AMK, that could be a recipe for success for Thrive. We switched sides. Thrive now on the defense. We didn't get to see a lot of this yesterday. They only played 1 defense round total. This might be, I don't know. I'll leave this to you, Goose, but maybe a better half for Thrive. I mean, they lost 3 offensive rounds, which is interesting considering what they did to Karnko yesterday, but nevertheless, we get to see what they're made of on defense.
We can see a complete different idea of attack from CHAWK. Thrive didn't send one player upstairs every time out of the 3 rounds that they attacked Kitchen in the first floor. CHAWK, their very first round, they immediately bring that buck, bring the ram, putting a majority of their early to mid round focus on not only clearing the 2 floors, but then setting up that vertical to pair and make it a little bit easier. It's their entire game plan, an entirely different game plan than what Thrive did. And it really goes to show that not only has CHAWK brought a very specific idea of what they want to do on this map, but it completely mirrors what Thrive is doing.
3 rounds on the spin for Thrive. 1:30 on the clock. Schmink slowly making his way. He's got a nice angle to the staircase, if anything tries to happen in that regard. But he's all the way up on the top floor. The party's on the bottom. Make progress, but it's CHAWK. It looks like they have a similar approach to Thrive. Slow and methodical. We're yet to see a kill. 1:10 on the clock.
And this is, exactly one of the problems with getting this vertical and pushing upstairs is that you're going to have to sacrifice so much time. Skunky, he's been able to edge his way through.
Wait,
just
what?
misses the shot, though.
He walked only on one of those thorns, punched out the other, and it almost had a kill. CHAWK is going to go up. It found Moses, and this new role for Moses that hasn't been really working out for him today. Now at 2-6. So drone work coming through, but 40 seconds on the clock. CHAWK, you've got to get this ball moving slowly. What's this type of angle from Skunky? You might be able to see somebody coming through that staircase. Still though, 30 seconds, and it is silent here. Oh, somebody's on the vertical play.
No.
Oh, and all of that pillar, that little beam in the floor, just ate so many freaking bullets. That's what I blame it on when that happens to me in my ranked games. But Twist was dropped down to 16 HP. It's now a 4v4. Kills are kind of going back and forth, but look at the clock. 10 seconds left. They have to drop the hatch. Superhero plays through the hatch, comes through. Kills are going each way, but now all down to Schmink in a 1v2, and it's gonna go Thrive. Just too much time being wasted for CHAWK, and it was just utter chaos in that last 20.
You've got to clear Candle. The entire round was shut down, whether it be from Candle getting the kills or simply him having the presence of being in Christmas with that shield. And this is a problem that Thrive could have predicted. You know, CHAWK putting a majority of their focus on more than half of their round being focused on clearing those top floors, setting up that vertical. But after that, didn't do anything. Didn't clear Christmas, didn't have a player on double by dining. And because they put so much focus and pretty much put all of their focus on that, they didn't do enough around the other site. And not only did that allow for those defenders, specifically Moses, to just sit in those solidified positions, or sorry, Candle, but also it allowed them to take the time to spot the gaps, realize that CHAWK was being slow, not on purpose, and they were simply struggling, and that allowed Thrive to rotate, regroup, and find better positions that they already had.
That's 4 rounds in a row for Thrive. It might have just been a mentality thing, like, oh, we've got this, no worries, and then it took 3 rounds for them to kick it back into gear. This is the Thrive that we saw yesterday. Can CHAWK now be the ones to maybe mentally respond to that one? And that was the big question I wanted to be answered. Can Thrive respond to hostility? And yes, they can. That's 4 rounds now. I am curious, though, because it looks like Moses hasn't been benefiting really from this team change. But if the team's getting the win, the team's getting the win.
Yeah, you know, round after round, we see a new player shine. The past 3 rounds, every round has had a different kill leader. First it was Twist, then Aimkey, and then now, the round previously, Candle. Sure, he was in a position he didn't have to go out of his way, but it's just a lot of gaps, especially, you know, in that defense, or sorry, attack rather, for CHAWK, and they're struggling. And they had a really good game plan on the defense, but as of now, translating onto the attack, on paper, it doesn't really look like CHAWK has a whole lot to do.
Minutes now on the clock, and we have seen very slow offenses. This window's being baited. Is there like a shadow that might help out? No! Zers gets another kill. That's Candle. He was a big player in that previous round. He's been now shut down. But like you said, we've seen different players from this Thrive team arise to the occasion, and now they surely need a hero on the top floor. Aimkey. Really, this is such a nervy match here. These offenses don't make noises. It's all quiet, drones out. Goose, this is a nail biter.
It's the exact same problem that we've seen before. As soon as they either get map control or a pick, they don't know what to do next. They can't find an opening. Sure, they did shut down Candle on a very nice cross, but look, Twist, he's still in this position. They haven't been able to get rid of this mirror. The smoke is going to come out, allowing him to rotate or swing into the site. It's just not enough.
They actually got a kill. Skunky found Zers somehow. 48 seconds left. CHAWK is going to have to get to a move on. Oh, Skunky, here we go. Here comes the play. He throws out. But there's nobody home. He's getting knocked onto his bum. But look at this. Thrive now. They're going to get a kill in the background. Meanwhile, and now it's going to be a 2v4. It looks like they don't even need that player, but Schmink has a lot of work to do. This should be a Thrive round win. But wait, hold on a second. Schmink's found multiple kills, and now he has a chance to maybe get this. He does have the diffuser as well. He's just going to throw out some Thatcher EMPs just for funsies, I guess. Maybe get as much value as he can out of that. But Aimkey will get that one just before. Just Warren couldn't use his goggles there at the end. Good round from Thrive, and now that's 5 rounds in a row. The streak continues. And this is, I think we're starting to see things return to normalcy.
We're seeing a glaring red problem for CHAWK. As soon as we get to that execution phase, they don't know what to do. And it's honestly astonishing to me because, as a caster, as someone who watches these games both live and going back, just simply VOD reviewing for my own benefit and also simply just trying to see what these players are doing, it's simple as soon as CHAWK get that control, as soon as they have an idea of like, okay, we want to push into this area, we want to try to get the bomb down here, they don't know how to do it. They in that round, you just saw 2 players sitting on rappel. They just honestly, they had all the control needed, and they just didn't know what to do with it. They have a huge problem of not having direction, and that last minute 30 to 30 seconds in an entire round. And this is a problem that Thrive is just eating up entirely.
Thrive. Well, they're doing the namesake. They are absolutely loving life here on Cafe after a really bumpy start. That TAC timeout has just seen this team really start to be reinvigorated. And I'm curious, I mean, I might have to, I don't think we're going to be doing any interviews today, but I've got to maybe DM somebody here like, hey, who's been really leading this team in terms of leadership? Because it is super impressive in that sense. You can just see it. It's not something that you can measure. But this Thrive team, they're playing with such confidence that we didn't see in those first 3 rounds.
I really think we can just simply chalk it up to those last 2 attacking rounds. Just so many plays just simply worked. It's like a light bulb in the heads of the Thrive players just clicked. They simultaneously just found a way to figure out how to counter chalk it. And I talked about how it was going to be a little bit different translating back onto the defense, but it looks like it's worked absolutely wonders. As you can see, Enki going absolutely huge. Now the kill leader right next to Twists for his team, continuing to play in these advantageous spots, continuing to feel himself having the confidence behind his game, and Schmeek still having to get a drone from downstairs. Every time, whether it be a player or a drone in these entry points around the site, they're completely shut down.
It's still a 5v5. It is so slow. We really don't see kills happen until late in these rounds, around that 1 minute mark. CHAWK is just trying to find the gap, and I like this. These are 2 teams that like this map. They have similar play styles, and we're just seeing like who's better at it. CHAWK on that slow offense approach. They're trying to get this vertical control. Safehold seems to be the focal point of this attack. But so far, nothing's been really happening. Do they know where Twist is? He's got a lot to deal with. He's got to look over towards Piano. He's got to worry about this window. Did the C4 connect? He's down to HP. It does not work out. And Zer once again with the opening pick. And now the kills are going to start happening right at that 60-minute mark. It's now a 5v2 in favor of CHAWK. And they say, hold on. Yeah, you might have 5 rounds in a row, but we're going to come right back into this. Both Aimkey and Skunky down to 28 HP to themselves. Aimkey, he's getting actually pretty aggressive, though. He might be able to find somebody out that's not watching. Oh, nope. The drone is there. But Skunky in the background has made this a little bit more manageable. Might be able to even pop out of the window and do some craziness. But Aimkey falls in. It's now all down to Skunky. Did they get the audio cue? Well, now they know where he is. Safehold gets the final kill. CHAWK are not done just yet. It's 4-5, and that was a much-needed round for them to re-establish some momentum and kind of cancel out Thrive's hot streak.
It is really astonishing. I'm not exactly sure if that was one of the rounds where they had the exact same problem of having the entire hold. They knew exactly where Mira was. I don't know if it was simply just gathering the util, maybe calling a player over to a certain position to support the player on the cocktail window, or if it simply was their plan to dwindle down, use as much time to get as much info. We saw, a player bring a drone all the way from Freezer downstairs. It really did look like CHAWK tried to use all of their drone economy to the maximum potential that was possible. And again, these are just decisions that we simply don't know because we don't know what's going on in the player's head. But I'm really curious because whether or not it's on purpose, it is a continued theme that's happened now 3 rounds in a row.
Thrive now is going to take this one to basement. As we see our little quarter break. It's not the 3-3 quarter break, but round 10 on the way. Basement has been kind of a fun one. Usually for one individual, we've seen multiple players pop off on this. We saw Schmink in one. Who was it for Thrive that had a really... I think it was, it was Twist, who was able to get a quad. You've seen some huge highlight plays. Oh, wait, it was Aimkey on that one where he just walked right on the free into A. We have seen some crazy plays here on the bottom floor. Hopefully we get to see it once again. But Gekyu, well, this is uncharacteristic. An early kill coming through. It looks like Twist was trying to get aggressive. And that's the Legion gone.
Yeah, that's going to be big. That's going to force Thrive to play a little bit more concealed. Aimkey also almost potentially losing his life. And now not only does Aimkey, but the entirety of Thrive, they realize that they have to start to get aggressive. They have to start to push back and try to get a pick. But wow, Schmeek just expecting him there and continues to drive home the idea that we're not done. It's not CHAWK just yet. We have a little bit more fight in us.
I mean, Aimkey saw the grappling hook or that rappel, had his cursor perfectly placed, and he's the one who's in spawn. What a beautiful shot. I think it was Schmink, if I'm not mistaken, but great shots coming in from CHAWK. And now they have a good advantage, and they've got time. Usually we see these kills kind of come in late from them, but they've got kills and they've got time. That just might be plenty for CHAWK to find the gap, hit it, and get the diffuser down. Candle, Moses, Skunky, a lot of work to do here.
Around half of the round, and this is exactly what CHAWK loves. This is what they want. They want a plethora of time to set up this vertical, set up everything, get every angle down possible to try to catch off these last three defenders. But again, the more time that you give these Thrive players, the more the opportunity they have to potentially catch an attacker going onto the bomb site off guard. And there's a nice one from Skunky onto Schmink.
Wow, what a small, minuscule angle there. And I mean, we've seen those little pillars be a problem for other people, but not for Skunky. Oh, and he's just going right back to the well. He's got a lot to worry about here at bar. But he's made this a little bit more doable for... Wait, did anybody pick up on the diffuser going down? And now Skunky's going to drop to that. HUD's going to get the diffuser down, and it's all left to Moses. Surely this is a tie game. Gekyu gets the last two kills, and it is 5-5. Wow, it was CHAWK at 3-0, then Thrive just ripped off 5 like it was nothing. And now this is anyone's series. Whew, Goose, I would ask you your predictions, but every time we say something, it's like the opposite happens. You're like, oh, this should be Thrive's map. CHAWK goes up 3. And then we're like, whoa, CHAWK looks really good. Thrive get 5. And it's like, oh, Thrive look... What the heck is happening?
Yeah, it is really curious. And, you know, I think we can throw out the notion that CHAWK came into here not knowing what they were going to do. They clearly had a great idea of what they wanted to do on Cafe. They've brought us to almost maximum regulation. Almost, I believe it's 2 or 3 rounds left. If we do potentially get overtime in this best of 1 on Cafe. But CHAWK, again, I talked about how they simply love to dwindle down that clock. Get as much info, get as much control over the map as possible before they strike onto the site. And it's worked actually wonders in the past 2 maps. And now, again, it's up to Thrive to counter that. They retry their entire game plan, try to give something to CHAWK that gives them a lot of problems, and throw a wrench in the wheel of this CHAWK attack.
Right now, SSGA, they're the only team that's 2-0. This Group B could be very chaotic. CHAWK would win. Wildcard Aces would be 1-1. Thrive would be 1-1. 774, 1-1. And then CHAWK would then obviously have their next team as well. Group B could be a doozy here in XGS, but there is still some rounds to be played here. CHAWK winning this one would open this one wide open. Looking at our operators here, nothing's going to come to quick mind other than a Capital and how the fire can be such a pain for those that are kind of stuck in bakery. Really, outside of that, Goose, what are you seeing in terms of a game plan for these operators?
I mean, I really love the operator lineup from CHAWK because exactly what we saw on defense now translating onto attack is they're giving themselves as many opportunities, as many possibilities to have success on this attack, onto bar and cocktail as possible. You have the Ash for that aggressive on Gekyu, probably one of the most important players.
Ooh! From
Candle
below,
finds
Candle!
one.
Candle lights a flame onto safe hold. And that burger's a little overcooked. Wait a second. Oh! Now that's good aim from Candle. Double kill. And Thrive have found some momentum back in it, and we've mentioned it before. Every round is a different pop-off moment for each player. This time it's Candle that's coming into the limelight. Whew. Wow, what a pop-off play from Thrive to probably give them match point.
Yeah, this is exactly what Thrive need. And again, chalk it in a very difficult position here, but for them, they've cleared this mirror out a little bit earlier than they did last time, but Twist is still residing in this position. He's going to be the forefront player, denying chalk it, denial into this bathroom, denial into the round, and he gets a third!
Oh my goodness, Candle is going off. Now he's got the shotgun in his hand. Oh my goodness, Diddle! Oh, okay, phew. I thought that was going to be a nasty play from Gekyu. He's now down to 4 HP. Can him and HUD make something impossible happen? It's a slow walk from HUD. Do they have any information on him? Well, now they do. They're going to force him to engage into a fight. Gekyu drops. Surely Thrive after the round. 20 seconds left on the clock. HUD does find one. Traded out by Candle. And Thrive are on match point after a shaky start. And I believe we're going to be going to a tech pause. I saw Safehold asking for one. And he did die early in that round, so that could have been another factor into why he maybe died. Maybe there's something going on in his end. Whew. This feels like an overtime game for me, Goose. This has just been seriously back and forth, blow for blow, Muhammad Ali style.
And, you know, honestly, it's really curious because it's these very specific positions around the map that Chalk It are having difficulty with. For example, in the last round, simply getting control of Piano. They had a wondrous idea, or they had a great job of denying it on the defense, but this time around, 2 rounds in a row now, or not in a row, but 2 rounds out of their attack when attacking this top floor bomb site, they've had so much difficulty. Look, relatively the exact same game plan, having 2 players repelled on opposite windows on the Piano, trying to get rid of that Mira, using smoke both times. Keep in mind, pretty much the exact same play, denied both times, and it really goes back to the point that I've said that time and time again, when you are a team on paper and you just in the strats that are a little bit, you know, down, I guess you could say Thrive is better, you need to continue to bring new things to the board that continue to throw your opponents off guard, and we're just not seeing that in a lot of these situations from CHAWK.
Now, if you Thrive, I think this is also another point of leadership testament. Can you hold the lead? It seems like once a team gets out there in front, the other team rallies back, and it's another stage that's being set for that one, this time for CHAWK. But look at this play from Candle. Oh, boy, oh boy. He was an immense on that last round. And whew, that was a textbook win from Thrive, and I love that pressure now that they're putting on the roam. His CHAWK at slow pace kind of gets caught out by it.
I think this is one of the situations where both teams can go back to the drawing board. I think 6-5 is probably, or actually not even probably, well, it's second to the most important scoreline aside from 7-7, because CHAWK, this is essentially their last round, and this is their last chance to potentially win this map, and they need to bring something new on the board, and they have a decision. Do they want to bring a complete new idea, a new attack to approach this map to potentially throw Thrive off guard, or do they want to go back to similar plays, similar lineups that they have had previously, to just be a little bit more comfortable, have everything possibly in their favor in this last round? It is a decision that has haunted teams for years.
Match point for Thrive. we had a tech pause for safe hold. He needed to rethink some things, and maybe that just allowed for CHAWK to get something done. I don't know what the tech issue was for them. And maybe give them a little bit of time to clear their thoughts and go again. Oh boy, this is pressure. This Thrive can go up 2-0 and join SSGA as the only teams 2-0 right now after the opening 2 days here in XGS. But if CHAWK win, Group B becomes very, very, very interesting, and it's unable or difficult to predict, I guess you could say. The Maestro is going to be brought out by Moses. He's been struggling in this new look team so far today. But right now, if he could be the hero player, that would be so, so huge on those Deadeyes.
It is just going to be one of those most crucial rounds because Thrive, they can play comfortable. They can play back. They can give a little bit of respect, not too much respect to CHAWK. They can let them take maps because they now know, or at least should know, that CHAWK are going to waste their own time. And Thrive, they need to put themselves in the best positions possible. I'm a little worried about this position from Twist because if you look around, aside from I believe it's, aside from Aimkey, doesn't have any support and very isolated from his teammate. He could potentially easily be caught off guard if CHAWK can read into his position over in Freezer.
CHAWK, like they've been doing previously, they drone, they play slow, and they try to figure out what's the best way of attack here. Aimkey, he's kind of being tasked with watching that piano area up top, holding that bathroom hallway. A lot of work was being put into this top floor. Huge emphasis. Here comes safe hold. He places down a breaching charge, but he's not actually going to elect to use it. Min 10 on the clock. Still yet to even hear a bullet. Oh, as I said, I finally hear some. Whoa! Wait a second. Safe hold just snapped right on the aim key. That's the benefits of all the drone work they do. He knew exactly the play he had to do. Snaps onto that one, and that's a massive kill. Finding aim key. Now, Thrive is on the back foot, but Candle once again comes up massive. 12 kills to his name as he's going to get the trade for aim key. 40 seconds left. CHAWK, you're going to have to move at some point, my friends. What's going to be the play from these guys? Candle might be the first line of defense, but it's actually going to be Moses. He takes down Gekyu. That's the other pop-off player in this lobby. Schmink is going to get a trade. 30 seconds now on the clock. Twist is going to get in on the action. It's all going down. Candle in the 1v1. Can't get it to go through the wall, but it's a little do-si-do over towards top right stairs, and Twist is also going to get a double kill. Candle and Twist are going off massive, and it's Thrive who take the series. It had some bumps along the way, but they're able to get it done. They showed up on that map yesterday. This one, CHAWK, it really brought it to them. But in the end, it's Thrive who get things done. 7-5, and they advance to 2-0.
I have to give a majority of the props to CHAWK. I mean, going into this matchup, I had very little hope for them in this matchup, and it does look like that this was one of their best matchups. Finishing it not with a win, they will, for now at least until potentially our next game, will go down 0-1, but a 7-5 is a very valiant effort by them nonetheless, and they can take the issues of and essentially use this as a warm-up matchup for what is going to be our final game next against Aerial Rise. But for Thrive, they're going to be our second team this time around, being Group B, that goes up 2-0, making it a little bit more definitive than we originally thought.
Yeah, and with how tight that group is looking for the rest of these teams, Thrive putting some distance between the rest, that's massive. And it's going to give them some, ability to breathe later on in this. But like Goose mentioned there, we're going to be seeing CHAWK later here. We've got them next. They're going to be going up against Aerial Rise. They've got a back-to-back. Are they going to be able to shake that last one off? Find out after this break.